Always remember, when you see that circle of death spinning for 10, 20, 30 seconds, that customer is gone and they are not coming back. When your competitor can't outsell you, they outfear you. Guns N' Roses famously welcomed you to the jungle. This is Jungle Mode. Welcome to Get Your Mind Right, Mailbag Edition. And today's episode title is Spinny Circles, Shady Reps, and the 99-cent wake-up call. Now, folks, today's episode is one for the record books. We're unpacking why your checkout page might be bleeding revenue, how to handle competitors who weaponize fear, and what actually separates the top closers from the ones that are getting lapped. And the backstory? Well, let's just say it involves a McDonald's apple pie, a semi-grown man who should have known better, and a belief system that burned deeper than hot sugar to the chin. Now, if you've ever played small, even when you could have gone big, this is probably going to hit. So let's get to it.
Welcome to Get Your Mind Right. Today, we're diving into your questions and insights in our mailbag segment. Thanks to everyone who wrote in. Let's open up the mailbag.
My first question today comes from my friend from Atlanta, Georgia, Sheila Wyatt. Sheila says, John, I got some merchants whose checkout pages are spinning and spinning, and it's making them want to throw their laptops at me. How do I make this stop? Well, Sheila, this is more common than what most people realize. And that spinning wheel of death at checkout, it is a trust killer and a revenue repellent, no doubt about it. Let's talk about fixing this. The first thing, Sheila, is start with an audit. Time every step from cart to confirmation, because anything over 3 to 5 seconds per load is unacceptable in the year that is 2025. And the next thing is let's take a look at modernizing that payment stack, because your merchant's going to need Apple Pay, Google Pay, card on file, ACH, and sometimes even buy now, pay later. Because let's remember, friction kills sales. Next thing I want you to do is to test it like a customer, okay? Walk through it. Better yet, have someone else do that for you, someone who's not a payment professional, and have them narrate their pain points for you. Because you know what? Those pain points, that is where that money is leaking out. Now, Sheila, here's the problem here. Your merchants, customers, they're not going to tell you what's broken. They're just going to go somewhere else. They're going to bounce. And in digital sales, these micro delays feel like micro disrespect. So Sheila, always remember, when you see that circle of death spinning for 10, 20, 30 seconds, that customer is gone and they are not coming back. Fix this friction. The moment your checkout becomes seamless is the moment that your cart abandonment rate starts to shrink. Hey, thanks for calling this out, Sheila. This is a great question. You just saved someone's fourth quarter. Our next question comes from Clark Meadows from Chesterfield, Virginia. Clark says, John, I'm out pitching dual processing, and my competitors are saying all the time what I'm doing is illegal. This is on a weekly basis. I know it's not, but dang it, it keeps coming back. Now, Clark, this is a classic dirty sales move, because when your competitor can't outsell you, they outfear you. Let's get tactical with this one. First of all, Clark, is your legal house in order? Because if you're doing dual pricing or buyer's choice, you need clear disclosures, you need proper signage, you need processor level compliance, and you need to keep your FTC and your IRS guidelines bookmarked. This is your armor, Clark. The second thing is control this frame early on. Say this up front and never pitch. Hey, Mr. Merchant, by the way, you may hear competitors say that this model is illegal. That's a common scare tactic that I see all the time, but I'm here to tell you it is flat out wrong. I'll show you exactly how and why we are fully compliant and why those reps are either misinformed or they're deliberately misleading you. Because this move that they're trying to do, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD factor, you've just turned that into fuel. You're not emotional. You're not fighting it. You're just battling it with facts. The next thing, Clark, that's important to remember here is educate, don't escalate. Keep it light, stay factual, and don't name names. Let the shady ones burn themselves, because they will. This is the only move that they know, and they use it over and over and over. And the last thing, Clark, is remember this. Mudslingers don't win long term. You stay value driven, you stay composed, and stay thick skinned. And Clark, never forget, there's only room for one bull rhino in this section of the jungle. It is you. And keep stomping through the noise. Well, thanks for a great question, Clark. You got this dialed in here. Stay with it. Next question is Shay Horseman from Nashville, Tennessee. Shay says, John, 500 dials a week is working. How do I get the rest of the team to match that level? Well, Shay, first of all, thank you for saying it out loud. We got too many reps trying to optimize a process that they haven't even executed at scale yet. But you know what? You've already nailed the truth. This isn't about polishing, it's about volume. Now, how do you bring others along with you? Well, the first thing I suggest is reflect the pipeline map and that map out. Okay, here's what it looks like. 500 dials in a week, it's going to equal about 50 conversations, which is going to equal about 15 meetings, which with any kind of luck whatsoever, you're going to get 5 deals out of. And show the check that's tied to that. You've got to make it real to what your folks are doing. The next thing is I like to gamify the effort. You'll create little challenges here. You know, the first one to 50 dials gets lunch today, or most connects by 10 a.m. gets some sort of spiff. People really respond to games and competitions, sometimes even more than goals. And the next thing is let's find out who the blockers are. Let's audit them. Are they slow because of the tech, because of the scripts, because of the fear? Well, Shay, that's your job to find out and to fix it fast. I always like to see folks lead by example here, because when reps see you or others grinding here, getting the office early, staying late, working through lunch sometimes, getting those 150 dials, it redefines what is normal. Silent leadership is louder than barking stats. I also like the idea of running a 30-day sprint on here. Put up a scoreboard. Give them public recognition. Count on daily momentum. And anyone who hits 500 calls a week consistently, celebrate them just like they earned the company and bought it. The last thing I like to do, Shay, too, is I like to use my own negative psychology to my benefit. For example, let's say that I'm going to get 1 out of 20 positive responses, okay? The way my brain's wired, that means I got shut down 19 times. That 20th time, boy, 1 versus 19, I don't like that percentage very well. But here's how I turn that around on myself. If I know that I am going to get a positive response out of 20, the way I can make that work for me is I can run to the nose. And in my world, what that means is I'm going to make a little tally mark every time someone tells me no. And I'm going to get to 19 as quickly as possible, because on that 20th, I know I'm going to get a hit. Here's the other great benefit of that. It almost never works out that it's the 20th call that I get that hit. You know, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's the 15th. Sometimes it's the 9th. Sometimes it's the 12th. Sometimes it's on the 3rd or 4th one. And anytime I do that, I'm ahead of schedule. That's what I look at as a bonus. So Shay, Guns N' Roses famously welcomed you to the jungle. This is jungle mode. Most folks are waiting on better systems, and you're already in motion, and that is what is important. Stay there, my friend. Thanks for the fire. Keep standing on your business. And now for the backstory. Welcome to the backstory, where I take a step back before we move forward. Each week, I share moments that shape me, whether it's my time as a sales rep, my journey as a dad, experiences I had, stories I've learned, or the curiosity that's followed me since childhood. Because every lesson learned today, well, there's usually a story worth telling behind it. Let's get into it. Today's backstory is entitled The 99-Cent Lesson. Now, every one of today's mailbag questions had a common thread. It's mindset. It really wasn't about the checkout times or competitive trash talk or how many dials someone makes. It's about the beliefs underneath. And this takes me to a moment that when I learned that beliefs, especially old ones, can shape your actions long after they've stopped serving you. Now, this particular backstory involves a semi-grown man, that would be me, a 99-cent apple pie from McDonald's, and a lesson I didn't even know I needed. But first, let me take you back to a simpler time. Time of paper coupons, Ronald McDonald commercials, and the belief that a dessert from a fast food restaurant was the height of luxury. Because I I grew up in a home where eating out was a big deal. Not, hey, let's grab something on the way home kind of energy. I'm talking, get your act together. This is a rare event. Don't get cute with the menu. That type of energy. Now, my family, if we went out to eat, and that's a big if, my mom had a hard cap on what we were allowed to order in a fast food joint. And that was three things. That was a small drink, a sandwich, and french fries. That's it. It's the whole show. No substitutions, no upgrades, and definitely no desserts. And let me tell you something. When you're a kid watching hot apple pie commercials with those golden crusts practically glowing on the screen, kind of restraint feels like a government mandated injustice. But in the Johnson household, dessert was an indulgence by special occasion, a symbol of excess. My mom, trust me, was not in the business of excess. She was in the business of that is enough. And that mindset, well, it stuck with me and still does to this very day in a lot of very important ways. So, fast forward a few years beyond this. I'm 24 years old. I'm out in the world, working, earning, starting to build something. And one day I find myself at McDonald's and I order my usual because at this point, ordering off a value meal, that's second nature to me. And then I see it on the side of the menu, the hot apple pie. And I realized something in that moment. You know what? I'm a grown man. I make my own money. I pay my own bills. And I can afford 99 cents for sure. And yet, even though I had been tortured by these commercials when I was a kid, I had never had one of these McDonald's hot apple pies. Now, not because I couldn't, but because somewhere deep down, I still really felt like I wasn't allowed to. The little kid inside me was still ordering based on a mental budget my mom had set 20 years earlier. This was against my training. That's when I decided, it's 99 cents. I have own agency. I'm a grown man. Today's the day. Now, not only did I order the pie, I started my meal with it. I was feeling rebellious, indulgent, dangerous. Then I took a bite. Now, if you've never had a McDonald's hot apple pie before, and I mean really had one where it's fresh out of the fryer, well, let me warn you, that thing is a pressurized sugar grenade filled with molten hot lava-like apple pie filling. I, of course, did not know this, but was soon to learn it. So I bit in with enthusiasm, big bite, no hesitation, and instantly got punished. That scorching apple goo had been percolating far under the earth's crust for 5 billion years, shot out of my mouth like a geyser. It rolled down my chin, burned my lip, and absolutely scorched me. And the pie that entered my mouth came out of my mouth like Halley's Comet. I dropped it, fumbled it, tried to act cool, but I was in pain. Physical, emotional, spiritual, any kind of pain you got, I was feeling it. Defeated and injured by an apple pie. And yet, I'll never forget that moment because it just wasn't about the pie. It was about finally recognizing how much of my life and how many of my decisions were still being filtered through beliefs that belonged to someone else. Now, that pie cost me 99 cents, but it taught me a lesson that's followed me ever since. Just because you can't afford it doesn't mean you believe you deserve it, or for that matter, should indulge. If you're not careful, you're going to end up living by rules that you never even chose. Rules like stay small, don't draw attention, stick to what's safe, don't ask for more, and never ever order dessert. And that's the kind of programming that will burn you worse than a McDonald's hot apple pie. Now, to be sure and to be clear, I had a phenomenal mother. An overwhelming percentage of things I learned from her have provided me an edge my entire life. But all of them to the letter of the law, not so much. So if you're listening to this right now and you've been playing by the old rules, I want you to ask yourself, whose rules are these really? Because the moment that you realize that the lid's been off the whole time, that you can try the pie, launch the business, raise your prices, leave that relationship, taking your last shot at the end of the game. That is the moment you stop surviving, you start living. And if you get burned, well, welcome to the club. chances are you're doing it right. Great takeaways from today's mailbag, folks. Sheila reminded us that your customer experience is your silent closer or your silent killer. And Clark showed us how to navigate the fear games competitors play and come out on top. And I loved Shay's challenge: 500 calls a week or stop saying that you want it. Folks, it's that simple. And the backstory? Well, it was my wake up call. Use it as your wake up call, because scarcity isn't about money, it's about belief. If you're still living by the old rules, might be time to order the pie. Just be a little bit careful when you take a bite. It's quiz time. Which of the following is the most likely to cost you deals in 2025? Is it A, payment page load times? B, competitors talking trash? C, inconsistent daily activity? Or D, all the above? Drop your answer in the box below. And if you like the story on my mom, click on that same box below, because there's another one there for you. And hey, share this with someone who needs it. And I'd ask you to like it and hit that subscribe button. If you've got questions or comments, I would love to hear them. Once again, drop them on the box below. I'll see you back here on Wednesday for Get Your Mind Right.